Now, your forecast first on WHAG News.
Good evening. We've got a serious weather situation with a tornado warning in effect for Berkeley County, West Virginia.
But even then, the snow is piling up so quickly that is creating a layer of very slick conditions on the roadways,
with temperatures that could be colder than what we saw this week. So Old Man Winter sure is not loosening its grip on our area, and it's not even officially winter yet. How about that? That's right. And Sarah, we've got nothing but sunshine to talk about for the next 48 hours or so.
I'm excited.
All good news there. Look at Front Royal, though. 78 degrees. That's where the heat, humidity that are firing up the storms are. So as these storms move into the cooler areas, they begin to weaken.
Going to be like room temperature, just with a little bit of a breeze out here. But tomorrow, keep in mind, it's going to be in the 90s. So we're going to be dealing with very hot conditions.
So that's enough to definitely take those garbage bins, if they're sitting outside, roll them onto the streets. So maybe you had that experience. And along with that, we have another message here. We have a special guest here, the Energizer battery with a firefighter hat on, telling us to not only change your clock, but to change the battery on your smoke alarm. Then again, cool air aloft will move in, and that sets the stage for a pretty strong thunderstorm outbreak here to the south. Hi there, Aaron. Another day, another round of damaging storms for the four-state area. Let's take a look at some video footage. This would bring very gusty winds and rough seas for areas around Ocean City, but not put them out of business for the Labor Day weekend.
By this evening, it's going to be a completely different story out here. In fact, we don't recommend travel at all. I'm hoping these people on the roadways right now are heading to their final destination, because it's going to be a mess in just a short amount of time.
Clearly, it is not a time to be traveling. Leave it to the snowplows to continue to clear the roads. They'll be working all day long. All right, look at this picture here, sent in from Leanna Lang. This is a Jeep Cherokee, and you wouldn't know it though. Looking at this photo, it looks more like Horton the elephant. You can see hardly any semblance of that car, completely covered up. 2 feet of snow going to do something like this.
And so thank you so much for joining us this year for our Fright Lights. It seems to get better and better each year. And of course, we're hoping for good weather for all the trick-or-treaters tonight in Hagerstown and for tomorrow night in the Mummers Parade. We're going to have all that information. Lou Scally's in the studio. He'll have your forecast in just a bit.
It's time now for your four-state weather with meteorologist Mike Grogan.
Well, today was a beautiful autumn day. I know that it's going to cool down, so I hope you got to get out there and enjoy it, even if it was just for a couple minutes on your lunch hour, because it was nice.
Certainly was, and tomorrow going to be just as warm, I think, but it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride with our weather patterns. So brace yourselves, because we're in for some interesting weather for the next several days. Right. First of all, give you some of the headlines we're talking about. Warm but showery weather is possible tomorrow. Rain back in the picture, but nothing all that significant. But the significant rain could come just in time for Thanksgiving, I'm afraid. So we do have that in our forecast, and after that, a major cool down. We're talking very winter-like temperatures for our area with brisk conditions for shopping on Black Friday on into the weekend. But right now, very calm conditions. We've had a few clouds to our northwest today, but otherwise the sun has been shining. A light southerly breeze supplying us with that warmer air and a little bit more humidity as well. And you see just a few of those high clouds moving over right now, but nothing producing any sort of rain. But we're watching to our west as a vigorous storm system is underway across the central plains in the Midwest. A tornado watch. Tornadoes dropping in northern Illinois today, but you can see behind that snow for the upper Midwest, and this storm system will be plowing to the east, so tomorrow it could be bringing us a few showers before it begins to weaken. But temperatures, quite a range in our country. We've got warm air, that we're in that warm air mass now with temperatures in the 60s, even 70s to our south. But take a look to the northwest, a far cry from Bismarck at 9 degrees, Cut Bank, Great Falls, Montana, -2 degrees. So this is where winter is, and this is definitely more like early fall. So quite a transition period, and that cooler air will eventually be heading our way. But for now, 58 degrees in the hub city, 47 degree our dew point. So very comfortable outside for this time of day and also for November. We're looking at temperatures also still in the 60s in Winchester, 63 there, 63 in Romney, 61 in the Queen City, 62 degrees in Bedford. One of the warmest spots right now, believe it or not, is Frostburg at 64 degrees. A little warmer air making its way down to the higher elevations. So they're seeing that right now and enjoying it very much so. And that trend will continue for the next 12 to 18 hours or so before that cold front slides on through. You can see warm, breezy conditions, a chance of rain. Behind that, chillier air for the day Wednesday and Thursday, but that's actually not the bulk of the cold air that we're going to see. We're going to see another warm front pass on through, and that means for your travel day, we're going to be okay, believe it or not. Wednesday, if you're traveling, If you're heading to the south, you probably run into rain, but if you're heading to the northeast, just cool and breezy. But then Thanksgiving, that next storm system will sweep on through, bring us rain. And behind that, that's when the bottom falls out. And we're expecting widespread snow for the mountains. So they could be seeing accumulating snowfall for those western ridges just in time for Thursday night, Thanksgiving evening, all the way through the weekend. And the rest of us feeling that Arctic blast with temperatures down into the 40s for highs. Well, how about your zone-by-zone forecast for the Cumberland Valley? Temperatures tomorrow make it into the mid-60s before the cold front arrives early afternoon. Around to showers, we're thinking maybe between noon and 3 o'clock in the afternoon or so. Same story in the Catoctin region. We may make it up to 67 degrees. This is a good 15 degrees above normal for Frederick. Eastern Panhandle temperatures also in the mid-60s with mostly cloudy skies and a shower or two. Shenandoah Valley, definitely not a washout, but you could see a shower as well. 67 Front Royal, 66 in Woodstock. In the Potomac Piedmont, temperatures here in the low to mid-60s. Cold front moving through later in the afternoon, so that'll cool down our temperatures. But before the cold front moves on through, temperatures could make it into the 50s for the higher elevation. 61 Western Port, showers there as well. And the southern Alleghenies, more showers are possible. The best chance actually across the western ridges tomorrow, weakening as it moves to the east. 61 your temperature in Bedford. This evening expect increasing clouds, but we could also have a little patchy fog overnight, so keep that in mind before the clouds move in. Relatively mild, only dropping off into the upper 40s. Tomorrow we'll expect mostly cloudy and very mild conditions, then another round of rain possible midday into the afternoon hours. Still highs are going to make it up in the mid-60s. Then we cool off a bit for Wednesday, 53 though, but certainly nice for your travel day. Mostly sunny skies, but the rain moves in that night. And Thursday could be a very wet day for everything you're doing for Thanksgiving, so make sure your plans include indoor activities. Then it gets cold and breezy for the weekend, so all that outdoor shopping, maybe at the outlets or whatever you have going on, it's going to be chilly, so bundle up all the way through the weekend. Highs only in the 40s.
All right, let's take a look at our dot.
It's time now for your four-state weather with meteorologist Mike Grogan.
Well, it's technically fall, but you would be fooled if you were outside today with temperatures close to the triple-digit mark.
Yeah, I mean, I had to check the calendar. It's September 24th today.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? With this kind of temperatures, it's actually the latest we've ever seen a 97-degree temperature in the season ever in Hagerstown. So very impressive heat, but we can say goodbye to it after today.
Good.
But we did tie a record high today, set back in 1902, so a record that's been standing for over 100 years. We have broken, or at least tied, and we're well away from our averages of 75 and 51 for the year. Well, we'll get closer to those averages this weekend, but in the meantime, just still a warm evening outside. We are waiting for the cold front to move on through, which is located across the Ohio Valley. You can see this thin band of storms and rain making its way through that region, but it's very moisture starved, so by the time it reaches us, we only expect a few clouds, and that'll be about it. Temperatures out in front of it, though, extremely warm even at this hour. 90 in Richmond. You can see widespread 80s elsewhere, and closer to home, we're still at 89 in the Hub City, 92 in Martinsburg. Still hanging on to 95 in the Winchester area, 88 Bedford, 88 also in Chambersburg. The western mountains down into the 70s, but even a warm evening there. Well, here's how the future temperatures go. We will expect a mild drop-off in temperatures tonight, but you won't need a jacket tomorrow morning, starting out in the 60s in almost all locations except for the western higher elevations. And throughout the day, though, the key will be the cold front moves on through. It won't be nearly as warm. So by afternoon, highs only in the upper 70s to lower 80s. That'll be about all we can do for ourselves then. And we won't be complaining because drier air will be moving on in. We'll allow ourselves to cool down by tomorrow night. And a chilly night, believe it or not, it's Sunday morning. So if you're heading off to church or whatever you have going on this morning, you might want to grab that jacket with temperatures in the 40s to the west and 50s in other locations. So quite a change from where we'll be today. Now Sunday morning, of course, will start to warm up, but not nearly as much either, even on Saturday. Here's what to expect. Heat is being erased this weekend. If you like the heat, I hope you enjoy today because that's the last we're going to see of these kind of temperatures for quite some time, potentially the rest of the year. And then we're looking at dry and mild weather through Sunday. A few clouds building in Sunday, especially that evening, and that's when an upper level low will move on in, providing us with some drought relief. Some great news there coming in time for early next week. This could be a good soaker for the region. Well, you'll see that with our cloud and precipitation model. Not much happening with this front moving on through other than a few clouds. By Saturday, we're expecting mostly clear skies, a very nice and very relatively seasonable day. Sunday, though, the clouds build back into the region. Moisture to our south and our southwest. That'll creep up our way by Sunday night into Monday morning, and you can see the ample moisture here indicated by the yellows and the reds. That means we're in for a good soaking rain later that day. In fact, here's how the setup looks for the long-term outlook. We'll have a large trough form in the middle portion of the country. That'll allow moisture to be swept up the eastern seaboard and heavy rainfall potentially for a day or two on end. So we could be looking at anywhere from 1 to possibly 2 inches throughout this time period. Now, the tropics are also a bit active right now. We had Tropical Storm Matthew make landfall across Nicaragua. Winds of only 45 miles per hour, though. And Lisa, you've got 60 miles